Right, let's get to Chelsea now. We know they have been chasing a centre-back. Chelsea, though, have also informed Borussia Dortmund that they are recalling centre-back Aaron Anselmino from his loan there. This is an interesting move in itself. Now, they've had strong interest in Jeremy Jacquet, the young prospect from Rennes. But the recalling of Anselmino, does that sort of throw any move for a new centre-back into doubt, or can they do both?
I don't think so. Our intel is that they want to do both. So I think they're bringing Anselmino back as cover. I mean, Chelsea have got an extraordinary number of centre-backs. I think they've got 8 centre-backs on their books, but quite a few are injured at the moment. Rennes want 50 million for Jeremy Jacquet. It's a lot of money for such a young player, but they still would like to bring him in this month, Chelsea, if they can make that happen. They've maybe been a little bit put off by that price tag, but they do have a shortage in defence due to there's a number of injuries. Anselmino himself is keen to stay at Dortmund and he's been getting a fair bit of game time there. He's played 10 games for them since joining in the summer, but their recall calls would have expired on Sunday. They've informed Borussia Dortmund in time that they want to call him back. Yeah,
I'm guessing if they were to bring in someone else like a Jacquet, you might need to make a bit of space for him in terms of outgoings. Josh Achimpong has emerged as a potential target for Crystal Palace. We know that in the win. So how strong is that interest from Paris?
Well, look, they need a centre-back, having lost their club captain, and there's a big boots to fill. Marquet here. We're not expecting Josh Achimpong to go in and have the same impact he did. But I think there's a really good player there, and I think there might be quite a few Premier League clubs thinking that if Achimpong is available, we should have a think about that, because I think there's a seriously talented player there, Stephen.
Yeah, I like him. I do like Achimpong. It's interesting because Gay kind of grew into that role in Palace, and you kind of feel like it's of a similar ilk.
Yeah, very much so.
So you kind of feel like, it's a good kind of recruitment from Palace if they go get it.
Another Chelsea Academy graduate, Mark Gay as well, of course.
So many of them knocking around, aren't they? Just in general with Chelsea's centre-back situation. I mean, how do you view it? So many options, as you say. I'm just looking at their squad now. I mean, you've got Tosin, Badiashile. Tosin's injured. Colwell's injured. He's probably the number one centre-back. Badiashile's fit. Hato, haven't seen much of him. Chalobah, who's established himself now as well.
Fofana.
Achimpong, Fofana. I mean, that is normally an excess. You know, you look at Liverpool, for example, and they've got, 3 centre-back options, fit centre-back options at the moment. Do Chelsea need another centre-back, or is it more like they're looking at what they've got and they are not of the quality that they want right now?
Well, that's what's screaming, isn't it? It's saying that the players that we have we don't think they're going to fulfil what we need going forward to be really pushing for the top things, which is a shame, because you should look at what you have and think, can we improve these players? Can we get them better? Do they have the makeup to excel? But I think the difference is, but again, signing another young player doesn't really fulfill that. But you think centre-back, you think leader, you think someone that's going to dominate, and none of those centre-backs have that. I think Colwell, if he's fit, he's the one that I think jumps out at me. And then who'd you get in beside him? And you think a natural progression would be Fofana, but injury-wise with both of those players, I think the worry is that can they stay fit for a full season and develop a partnership? And I think that's what Chelsea have struggled with. They maybe get 2 together all the time.
Yep. OK, running out of time, guys, so we're going to whip through this last section. A bit of fun we're going to have for you. Basically, it's not a big weekend in the top. Raheem Sterling, you may know him. Jamie, come on. I mean, this is just not working out for anyone, is it, the way that this is going?
No, look,
Raheem Sterling needs to play football. Chelsea need to get him off the books. Will this saga end this month? How could it end?
I think for all parties it is good if it does end, because you're right, he's not wanted by Chelsea. He's still only 31, Raheem Sterling. It feels like he's been around forever, so you tend to think that he's much older than that. I think we saw last season at Arsenal that, his one biggest weapon was pace, and he seems to have lost a yard of pace. He wants to stay and keep his family settled in the southeast. There was interest last summer from the likes of West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace. There is a loan option being discussed by Napoli, according to Sky in Italy, who of course are managed by Antonio Conte, who would know Raheem Sterling quite well. It doesn't seem like there's an end to the saga in sight just yet. It seems like he's destined to just be sitting in Chelsea's reserves, not doing an awful lot. But you would think surely one club, maybe not Premier League level, but, somebody's got to take a punt on them, haven't they?
Is not a lot of it up to him though as well? Because look, I know he's on a lucrative contract.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He was given that lucrative contract. But is it now just a choice really between money and his career? Because if he wants to carry on playing at the top level, surely he's got to accept that he can't be earning the kind of money that he's on now.
Yeah, no, if he wants to play, he's going to have to drop down significantly in what his finances were. But he's been put in such a lucrative position that you kind of feel like, in this day and age, what person would forego that much money to play? And listen, as a player, you have to take on what you want to win, but he's won it all. He's played at the highest level. Maybe that desire to go and play is not there. Like I said, if he settles, his family's from that area.
You're a long time retired, aren't you?
Yeah,
as well?
exactly.
And you're thinking, been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt, build up a nice little nest egg and just ride off into the sunset.
31 years old, I just can't help. I mean, when you look at him, I know we haven't seen him for a while, but if he comes back in at a similar level to what we saw at Arsenal, do you think he can still do a job for a mid-table Premier League side?
I have no doubt that Raheem Sterling can probably still play at a decent level. I think the player that's in there, it's that desire. Like when he first came on the scene, it was kind of his anger and his aggression that made him such a fantastic player. He was so direct when he received the ball. He just wanted to go at players. And I see he changed into that player that just knew how to ghost into areas and score goals.
Far post,
yeah.
Fullback's nightmare.
Yeah, like I remember playing against him when he was 17, 18 at Liverpool, and he's just come onto the scene and having a conversation with Roy Hodgson about him. He's like, he just wants to go at you. Like he literally would just turn and run it straight away, and you're thinking, wow, this is like, unlike you hadn't seen it for a little while. But listen, those days have gone. He's not at that level, and he's probably so comfortable in what he's earning and where he is that that's not the same drive you have when you're younger.
Yeah. All right, one more name to get through of our 7. That is James Jacquet. It's not quite worked out for him at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, weird one, this.
What are the chances of him leaving?
Well, I think the chances of him leaving on loan are fairly strong because he's just not part of Sean Dyche's plans. Maybe a season, 2 seasons down the line, when Forest inevitably do change manager again, then the next man through the door might fancy James Jacquet. But £30 million is a lot of money to spend him last summer. There's interest in the likes of Strasbourg, Besiktas, Porto clubs in Germany as well. And you would think to get some game time, the sensible thing would do to send him out on loan. But there's a talented player there. £30 million was a lot to shell on him last summer.
Yeah. Are you surprised that he hasn't featured more for Forest?
Dyche is set in his ways, isn't he? Of how he wants his teams to play, how he wants those players to integrate between each other.
Race, wasn't it, with Manchester City closing the gap to just 4 points to Arsenal. January signings, Marc Guéhi and Antoine Semenyo, both impressing, particularly Semenyo's had a great start. You never know, they could be the difference to pushing City on to another league title. It just got us thinking, and it shows how much a January signing can have, how much of an impact they can have early on when teams get it right. We've had a look back at some of the January signings that have made a big instant impact in the past, and they're behind me on the wall. It's not about overall January signing this, it's about instant impact. First one that we picked was Papis Cisse. January 2012 that is, £9.3 million from Freiburg, 13 goals in his first 14 Premier League games, including, remember that worldie against Chelsea?
2 worldies against Chelsea.
2, but one was a particular...
Game, yeah. I still look back at that goal, I'm not sure if he absolutely fully meant it.
Oh, of course he did.
It's just the force physics, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird.
But yeah, no, what an impact he had. And I think Newcastle fans really hoped he'd sort of kick on, never quite sort of had the same heroics the following season, but yeah. Superb impact for the second half of that season.
We got him on, guys. We weren't supposed to do him down. We're supposed to pick him up. Great signing. Brilliant. What a genius. Now, Christophe Dugarry. Remember this? January 2003 World Cup winner, signed by Birmingham, one of Stephen's old clubs who just arrived after him, didn't you? 17th at the time they were. He scored 4 in 5 games to get them up to 13th. Do you remember the sort of buzz around Birmingham when he was signed?
I think it was more the unlikeliness of someone like him going to Birmingham. Like Bordeaux to Birmingham does not exactly, it doesn't seem to work. And a World Cup winner, Euros winner with France as well.
Yeah.
He was such a big name in world football. I just think that was so unlikely. Yeah. And then when even you hear Steve Bruce talk about it, he was like, I had an option. And I was like, really? He's going to come here? And then it was like, the lift, his performances were wonderful, but I think the lift the whole place got from him. And you speak to some of the players that were there, Matt Jupson and Stephen Clements, and they just said his quality that he displayed around the place was insane. So yeah, I think that was a huge, huge January signing.
Everyone loves a signing who can help you avoid relegation, and not many come better than this. Robert Huth, January 2015, initially signed on loan by Leicester from Stoke. Went on to win 7 of their last 9 games, Leicester, to pull off the Great Escape. He was a big part of that. I mean, they had 10 points from the first 17 games. They'd only won 4 matches by April. This was stayed up. It's incredible.
This is the one. This is the greatest January signing, purely in terms of impact.
Our producer Sid's insisted. Yeah, big Leicester fan.
Kept them up that season, and then went on and did this the following season. I mean, impacts don't come much bigger than that, do they?
No.
What a tremendous player he was, and look, the greatest abilities availability, and he was fit that entire season in the title-winning season alongside Wes Morgan. And
it's hilarious, isn't it? That's almost what Chelsea are looking for now. that dominant big centre back that they just don't have, and obviously he came through the Chelsea academy to go on and do wonderful things elsewhere.
Fortunately, guys, run out of time. I'm just going to have to let you know the last 2. Edin Dzeko, January 2011, £27 million for Wolfsburg, equalised in that dramatic game against QPR, last game of the season, and of course Virgil van Dijk, January 2018, £75 million from Southampton. Started off with a late winner in the Merseyside derby in the FA Cup.
He hasn't done too badly since.
Went on to be all right, didn't he? So that's your list then. Sorry we couldn't quite get through all of it, but just a bit of food for thought for you. Good pub chat. Guys, loved it. Stephen, Jamie, see you in a couple of hours. See you in Transfer Talk, midday.